The foundation for creating Laid Off Calgary came through my own lived experience of going to work one day, my coffee was still hot, and exiting that building back through that revolving door, my coffee was still hot. And where I expected to be working continuously for the remainder of that year, I was told that there was no more work available. There was no budget available for me any longer. I remember that first evening or afternoon rather, when I got home and I had no work and trying to figure out the next steps. I was Google searching laid off in Calgary and what to do if you are not working in Calgary and what to do if you're not working in general. And collectively there's a huge amount of information out there, but just nothing specifically that pointed to a single one-stop shop of resources or information. And as I was crawling through and preparing my own research on what I should do next, it occurred to me perhaps there should be this common place. And from that point I recalled, okay, the City of Calgary has a number and the Distress Centre has a number, and there's a service in Calgary called 211, and I called each of those services and I said, well, you know, what would you recommend? Surely you're getting a lot of phone calls and people calling in this common situation and wondering what to do next. And everyone's saying like, wow, yeah, I can see that would be a value. We just don't have anything, but that would be a great idea. And within a few days, the idea landed based on my previous experience in working with facilitating groups and appreciation, understanding of psychology and accessing community resources. The idea came to me to create something or a platform where people could unite and be empowered through their situation. I had recently been trained through different techniques called embodied awareness facilitation, which is a blend of things like psychology and yoga and helping people to come to some integration and understanding of themselves and then take the next action in their lives. And through this training, the common thread through this was the idea of sharing circles or peer support groups, where in my training we would share amongst our peers, our cohorts, to talk about what we were learning, the content. And I realized that what was so interesting was this idea of sharing. The idea of sharing was actually more important than the content that we were learning. And when I was thinking about the idea for Laid Off Calgary, and I mean, I didn't know in the beginning what I was going to create, but I had a sense of trust that if people came together in a sharing circle concept where they could each offer their perspective and release some of the emotion and come to some new insight, then we would all be able to figure out our own next steps.